What's up, AfterBuzzers? Can we trust Bridget O'Reilly? Does fear and hope coincide with one another? And when are we going to see our heroes ever, suit up? Cloak and Dagger After Show starts right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling this. This is the mood. This sets the mood for this episode.
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's calming me down because I'm hyped.
Chloe and Hallie.
So, thanks again for joining us for the Cloak and Dagger After Show, everyone. We're here to talk about Episode 3, Stained Glass. I'm your host, Ollie Drennan, and I'm going to introduce my wonderful panel of ladies. But I have a question for them. Hosts, what's your favorite Marvel origin/standalone movie?
Okay, hey guys, I'm Karla Beltran, and my favorite, I guess, Marvel standalone movie would be Spider-Man Homecoming.
Nice. Good pick, good pick.
Okay. Hard question. Hey guys, it's Drew Jones, and I was actually going back and forth on this question. He gave us time to think about it, but mine would be standalone origin movie Black Panther.
Good.
Yes.
Really good choices.
Great choice.
Okay.
I'm Steph Sabraw. Such a hard decision, but I think maybe because it's the fresh on my mind, Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one was crazy.
Crazy.
That was a good one.
And I
Three
love the
very
crazy.
good, different choices. And mine hasn't happened yet. Captain Marvel starring Brie Larson. I can't even pick. I feel like that's just gonna be my favorite.
I think it might change the game
yeah.
for sure.
Yes, guys, thanks again for joining us. We're going to talk all things Tandy, Tyrone. We're going to do a character corner this week, a very special character we're going to talk about. And we have some fan shoutouts, some news, and we also have a very special giveaway that if you want to win, you have to stay tuned to figure out how to win this. So, y'all, well, first off, Drew has something to tell y'all.
Yes. You guys know that we love you, and obviously we know you love us because you wouldn't be watching us right now. But if you want to show us how much you love us, we want you to go ahead and subscribe to all of our channels. It's not just us over here at the Superheroes, comics, sci-fi channel. Although we are great. We are. But there's more. There's more of us. There's more of us. But if you like watching shows, that have to do with superheroes and sci-fi and whatnot, we have a bunch of really good shows on AfterBuzz right now. We've got Preacher, we've got Luke Cage, which love me some Luke Cage.
Yes.
We've got Into the Badlands, and obviously we have Cloak and Dagger, which is the best one. But that's fine. But go ahead and subscribe. Let us know that you guys subscribed. While you're at it, we've got reality TV.
Ooh.
We've got a bunch of AfterBuzz original. We got a bunch of AfterBuzz original content where you can check that out on our main AfterBuzz page. So just go subscribe. Let us know you subscribed in the comments, and who knows, maybe we'll go ahead and throw your name into our special giveaway later.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. All right, y'all. Initial thoughts on this episode 3 of Cloak and Dagger. Go. There was a lot.
I'll start.
Yes, get it,
Because
Karla.
mine is concise. So, I was actually very confused at the end of this episode because a lot of what was going on was, like Steph said, was very metaphorical, and everything that it kind of took me some time to kind of realize, is this what they're running away from? What's really happening? And then the way that it was explained, how they can eventually help each other. I really enjoyed being lost in this with them and being confused in it with them, and then at the end kind of coming together and being like, oh, this is actually what happened, and it all makes sense, especially because at the end they're going to come together at the end of the episode and they're totally going to talk about everything that happened. And and just like they were confused about it and I was confused about it, I feel like it was really good.
I agree. I love how this came together. I already was super excited to see that it was taking place in New Orleans. I love to see how New Orleans culture and Creole culture and everything plays into how they're choosing to take on Cloak and Dagger's origin story. Yeah. And so it was just really enjoyable as someone who grew up in the South and, was in New Orleans a lot and is West Indies, to see all these little things and like, oh, that's crazy that they that they decided to tie it in. So this was a very enjoyable episode for me.
You guys saw me. You guys, this episode sealed the deal. This is the best Marvel TV show that I think we've had. And I don't think I'm speaking too soon. It was so well done. I mean, Drew saw, she had already seen it, but she came back for a second round because
Had to.
it just, like she said, the social awareness is so spot on, bringing up different points we haven't seen in any other TV show. And then a great cast, and it just leveled up even again for me. So I loved it.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Drew just said about New Orleans, I love this setting that we're finally seeing Marvel tackle, and I think it's so cool. Even in the episode with the character Evita, she talked about, she was the tour guide for the Voodoo tour, and she talked about how New Orleans is a place that was like destroyed, and it was decimated, but it was also brought back up at the same
Numerous
time.
times.
Yeah.
Historically.
And that really plays a huge part in Cloak and Daggers as we're seeing their origins. These are these characters that are broken down, but they're coming back up. They're being stronger. So our first topic, we gotta talk about all things Tandy Bowen. Okay, Miss Olivia Holt, she's killing it. And she had a very interesting arc because we see her, you know, she meets up with Tyrone and everything, but that meeting doesn't really go, it's not really productive. It's not. And then, you know, what is your whole take on Tandy and Bridget O'Reilly's, their relationship? Because I'm really confused. I don't know if I should trust O'Reilly just yet.
So I was like, because we talked about it before, Bridget O'Reilly is a real Marvel character. She does pop up in the comics with Cloak and Dagger. And so I knew she was someone that I would hopefully like. But again, they're choosing to do this show a little bit differently. So it was one of those like, is she cool? Is she not? Because her character in the comics is a little like, she's okay being in the gray area. But I really liked the female empowerment. I liked the encouraging, the having each other's back. And I think I'm excited to see more of her. I like her.
Yeah, I think that I was questionable about her too. Drew gave me some relief that she wasn't good. I wasn't familiar with her comic book character. I know you guys in the chat keep saying, of course she's good. She's a yellow Power Ranger. Good point. And I agree. Like, I love the fact that they brought up like sexual assault in the show so quickly, and the fact that we have this female detective that seems like she's really on her side and totally for her.
Yeah. And it was also cool, not only Riley was kind of on her side, but also Tandy's mom, surprisingly, was on her side when O'Reilly came because she wanted to talk to Tandy and figure out where Tandy's whereabouts were. But her mom, like, helped her out. And I was like, oh, okay, Tandy's mom. You're actually helping your daughter out.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ask your question.
Do you think because her mom seems a little bit more together in this episode than she did before. Do you think we're seeing a subtle take on Tandy's ability to help with addiction?
And like we won't her addiction, absolutely.
Yeah, and like we won't. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be something overnight, but do you think they're subtly kind of hinting towards, because she was a little bit more motherly this episode, and I don't remember her seeing her do any type of drug or whereas in the first two episodes she's just like piling them away.
Yeah, I wonder in previous episodes maybe what started that was kind of seeing the hopes of her mother. Maybe that drew that out a little bit, but then I also thought like maybe her mom just kind of like rubbed me wrong a little bit because she's like, what are you doing here all of a sudden? So, but I don't know, but I feel like her mom really does care for Tandy. That's her only like blood relative that we know of. You know, I don't know if her dad's still alive, but that's a very good. I would like to see that happen though, for sure. Yeah, her purging of the addiction.
I think Tandy and her mom also. I hope that that's her powers kind of setting in, but I think that they just have really similarities, and that's why they kind of butt heads because they both have. Tandy's turned to addiction as a result of her mother, or not using drugs, and so they both use that as a way to cope instead of facing their issues, and I think that the whole sequence that we saw with her and Tyrone affects the mom too. Like, she needs to face her issues. She's never faced the loss of her husband.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but also real quick, it was also, I think that O'Reilly, it was cool to see her with Tandy's assailant and how she was just like, you know, you got some marks on you. So she was totally reading him. You know, why were your pants down? So I'm thinking now that I was wrong. Maybe we should trust O'Reilly.
Well, I wanted to say,
Raised your hand.
Yes.
I wanted to say that I trust her, and the reason why I trust her is mainly because of her actions of how she was questioning him, but also the fact that she went and she told him mom that she was assaulted. But I think what was very crucial was at the end how the officer with the scar approached her, and I feel like if they would have been working together, she would have known that he was coming, and they would have had a conversation that would have let us know, like, oh, she's working with him.
Yeah,
and I think that they made that separation very clear, like, oh no, she's actually a detective that was sent to pursue this case, and now he said that the case is closed. So for me, she has gained my trust, like, 100%. And on top of that, she also told Tandy the truth when she was in the car. She was like, you know what, like, that's it. Like, there's absolutely nothing that she can do to reopen the case, and she knows that. And the fact that she was truthful with Tandy, I think that that puts her completely in the green zone, and we know that we can trust her and that she's going to be an asset to both of them as the show progresses.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely saw her be very independent. Like, I don't think Bridget has, like, any ties to anyone, so that's really good. Like, I feel like I can really trust this character. But moving on, what were your guys' thoughts on Tandy's venture into the light? Because we see her, like, on the bus, and all of a sudden it stops and everyone's gone, and she gets out of the bus and she sees a young Tyrone, and then we see kind of like Tandy's power of seeing the hopes of Tyrone, and it turns out that he really wanted his brother to be alive, obviously, and his brother in this particular this journey into the light, he decided to not go with his friends and to be with Tyrone. And so I'm just interested in what did you guys think of this whole scene of, like, going into, like, the woods and the lynching? It was crazy.
It was a lot to take in, just because it's like, it's another time where it's just like, well, this is, I mean, minus all the sci-fi and, like, superhero vibes, like, this is uncomfortably real, you know? But I thought it's interesting because Tandy's storyline was really about Tyrone's storyline and vice versa. So it was like, watching it had a lot less to do with Tandy and a lot more about what Tyrone what Tyrone needed to handle. Like, obviously with him, what she came to realize was, like, she has to be able to be there for him, to be like, revenge isn't everything. You have to let this go. You have to step out into the light, essentially. You can't go dark. And I think that's going to be, like, an ongoing theme for them. But yeah, I loved all of the scenery. I loved being in the swamp. I loved, that's very New Orleans, down to, like, his outfit when he's like, you even were like, okay, Hamilton.
yeah, he had some Hamilton.
It just was
attire.
like, just such a crazy scene.
Speaking on the scene, just from, like, a film perspective, this show is so well done. All the scenes were so great, and even I was noticing, I don't know if you guys picked up on it, I think it was pretty obvious, when the voodoo aunt was explaining you to go into this other side, you either have to have a concussion or you have to be in the bath, and she prefers the bath. So we see Tyrone in the bath, and then I love how it loops up perfectly because Tandy did have the concussion from the car accident, so it all made sense why they were in the same place, instead of sometimes in superhero shows or movies we have these missing pieces and you're just expected to believe, oh, they're in the same place together. So I love that. And I just loved seeing exactly what Drew's saying, that they kind of need each other, and that's what you were telling me before.
The divine pairing.
And the fact that I really enjoyed being able to see how they're going to be able to help each other, and them figuring out how they're going to help each other. And that's going to motivate them more to learn the different ways of how to use their powers for their benefit, for the benefit of each other.
Yeah, it's really cool because you think that darkness is such a bad thing, but really, like, they both need each other. Like, light's not all that great. It's, like, awesome, but they both are, like, they both have their pros and cons, and they both need to, like, there needs to be a balance, and they need each other for sure, and we're finding that out in episode 3 for sure. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on with Tyrone?
Are we on Tandy still? Because I just want to talk about the jerk and horrible human that is Rogers. The scar face, redhead.
Rogers sucks.
And what is his motive? Why is he hiding this wannabe rapist, or probably is a rapist?
I think we're gonna see. I don't think the creep is gonna be gone for good. I think we're gonna see him come back, and I think he's gonna have a tie with Roxanne, and I think Rogers has a tie with Roxanne. So I feel like it all comes together.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on the final scene before they touch each other's hands, where it's a younger version of her, and she's feeding prescription pills to like these different men that she's like bamboozled.
Like communion style.
Yeah, communion style. It's very interesting how they like play with I mean, Marvel's pretty good at playing with the whole religion thing. I'm sorry, Connors, you're right. Ivan Connors, you're correct. Is the
I said
Scar.
Rogers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's the Scarface Connors. But if you notice in the background of the stained glass in like Catholicism, stained glass in most churches often like tell stories, and it's kind of like a shrine, and so I thought it was really interesting that we first see Tandy in her little ballet get up, but then we also see her. I don't know if everyone else knows, but her dad's in the background, and one of the stained glasses he's on a cross, and so I think it kind of plays into her like how she sees her dad being almost like not a martyr, but kind of being like this innocent being that was like casted out or whatever. So I thought that was a really crazy and interesting scene to see play out.
That was it also just kind of reminded me of the comics and how like the drugs like killed everyone basically, and how she is like kind of tied to Roxanne because of her father. So that was just something that there's so much to like you can really like theorize in that scene and kind of like come up with your own like absolutely. So
and one more thing. Sorry, I completely remember it. Her running away to this train station, I feel like is a kind of an Easter egg to the original, to the comics of how her and Tyrone, Tyrone met.
And then she got her bag snatched.
Yeah, and I was kind of waiting for it, but they didn't do it. And I was like, okay, cool. But gone.
So it's time to talk about Mr. Aubrey Joseph as Tyrone. Okay. So it was really cool because like they are literally like mirrored. Like this, I remember when you were watching it and you're like, why are they showing this scene again? Is this supposed to be like this? And it's showing different perspectives. Literally, it's like the same exact scene, but they're showing different angles, and I thought that was so cool.
It was cut a little long. I don't think they needed to go. That was my only.
At first, we were like,
what the heck? It should have been like right when they were like it was too let up. I was like, thought I had to rewind.
I don't think it was too long though. I think there were important little things that you caught on about his like state of being by seeing it in his perspective, and like vice versa.
Maybe, yeah.
Like if you, because I watched it earlier today, and I watched it a couple times, and I was like, okay, like that little things played into their separate storylines just from like where they currently were.
I feel like Ty, we saw him speaking. I remember he's like in the church or whatever, and he's like speaking, and I'm thinking, okay, he's speaking to God, but really he's been talking to Billy. And it's funny how you brought up Tandy thinking her dad's kind of like not God, but kind of like I can't even think of like a right term, but
someone said a sacrificial lamb in the chat, and I thought that's kind of a good comparison, like this like unholy, untouchable being.
So that's kind of like Tyrone. That's Billy for Tyrone, because he thinks that's like that was his idol basically growing up, and he's constantly losing. He feels like he's cursed. He meets up with Evita, his new love interest.
I don't know how I feel about her.
No, ooh,
No.
She helped him.
She's the Voodoo tour, and it was very interesting. She took him on the tour to Marie Laveau. Shout out to American Horror Story with Marie Laveau. Angela Bassett, real quick. Shout out to you. That's our Storm, by the way. But what did you guys think of the wishing scene? Like, what do you think that Ty wished for? Do you remember the scene?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what he could have possibly wished
I
for.
feel like I'm predicting he wished to avenge Billy.
Same.
I think it was revenge, but I think
Like a kill revenge, or do you think like a just divide? Not like a kill revenge.
yeah, revenge just sounds so aggressive. I think he wished for revenge. I think he's gonna find peace.
Yeah, and that's what he struggles with, I think, is controlling that darkness. So that's exactly what we see in the different options of killing this cop. Doesn't work until he gets to the cuffs, which we thought was a metaphor for justice.
Yeah.
Kind of the righter way to do it. But Ivan did bring up a good point that we see both of their hopes, and even Tyrone's hopes are dark.
Yeah, he wanted to shoot him. And then this is finally, Tandy was the one who had to offer her light. in order for him to get the handcuffs. So, and then we meet this, what is this voodoo woman? This voodoo, did we catch her name?
She's a priestess.
Auntie.
She's like a shaman.
She said it was auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an auntie who's a priestess.
Yeah.
She kind of...
She's scary.
Do you think she's good? We see her throughout the episode. We see like this 3D model being printed, and it turns out at the end we find out it being Tyrone. And I'm like, oh, she created a voodoo doll.
No, I don't think she created it.
No?
It looked like she was confused as to why it was there.
Oh.
No, she didn't look confused. I think she was
like,
taking in like what it was. I don't think
I'm
she was
wondering
confused.
what kind of printer she was using.
That's really interesting.
She had
Wait,
a place
you guys
for him
know.
and everything on the mantle. She was ready for him. Which is weird, but Drew was kind of talking about this I was researching it. It is more about intent. So we don't know her intent yet, but I just don't think it's a good idea to ever have someone's voodoo doll without their consent. That's where I'm going.
You shouldn't have anyone's voodoo doll to begin with. That's just shady, okay?
I feel like, well, one, voodoo doll is kind of like, it's not real. That's like a Americanized like thing,
Yeah.
you know? It's like Cinco de Mayo. America does it more than anyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like not really something that's like an actual like voodoo cult. Like there are voodoo dolls.
The whitewashing gave it like the stigma, you mean?
Yeah.
The doll.
You know what's funny though? Like also in Mexico, there's a lot of like people that do like the voodoo dolls and stuff. Like
Yeah,
there's,
no,
like,
it's-
the cure,
well-
the people that you go
South
to
America,
cure you.
too.
Like yeah,
I will break it down for you really quick. Voodoo is it's something that started over in Africa. It's spread. There are black people in Mexico. There are black people in South America. There are black people everywhere, and it's something that has been able to spread. It's not voodoo isn't a bad thing. It has the ability, just like anything else, it has the ability to be dark and it has the ability to be light, which is why I really like that it's being incorporated into Cloak and Dagger. But the doll that she has of him could be numerous things, and I think we're gonna have to hold out to see what it could mean, because having an entity of someone isn't necessarily a negative thing or a malicious thing. It could easily be that she's trying to capture what she considers a darkness or a curse about him. So it could very easily be her trying to take that curse and put it into something, embody it into something that's not him.
On that point, Nicholas Kelly in the chat just said something. He said the clay doll is called a papa. It's used in ceremonial and sympathetic magic. For instance, like voodoo, Wicca, and other pagan practices, it's used to aid or help channel.
Exactly.
Okay, that's thank you.
Let's
for
hope
that.
for
Thank you
that.
for that comment.
Yeah,
That was very insightful.
Yeah.
But like for me, I think it's gonna like for her to make that, I feel like it's gonna turn into like a bad thing, because for them to show that at the very end of the episode, it's like, why would they show something good, something like a good event at the end of the episode? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like they would
rubs me the
show-
wrong way a little bit.
I feel like the reason why they showed it was because we would be thinking that it was bad.
Which I thought it was.
I
I
thought-
just think it's some kind of bad consequence is going to come out of it, personally.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I thought it was kind of a metaphor for it being like him, not even just like him, but like them starting to reach their potential, you know, like all the pieces kind of coming together, because we
Okay.
see bits of it throughout the episode after each, you know, like obstacles kind of like overcome. And so I feel like it's sort of like a, you know, like a loading dock where it's like, you know, 50% complete, 60% complete. Like I feel like
Okay.
that was like,
It represented the episode.
yeah.
Okay. I'm interested. I'm keeping my eye on that voodoo doll. That doll, okay, just in general. So I think Ty and Evita really hit it off in this episode. So you don't like Evita?
No, I don't dislike. I like Evita as a character. I like that she knows what she wants. I like that she's not afraid. I think she's a strong female character in the sense of like she's letting Tyrone know like I like you. You know, like she's very go getter, and I think that's a great example for girls, because like we shouldn't be so timid all the time.
You shouldn't be the one being chased.
Yeah, I like that she's aggressive in a sense.
She pays for her own tuition.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the positives because she kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
I think the reasons I don't necessarily like her is because I want him with Tandy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like it's not even her. It's just like on
You know they can't work out.
Yet.
yeah.
No, not
But
Tandy.
you-
I'm saying Evita.
Oh,
Yeah,
Evita.
you know that in game is not them, so there's no
Yeah.
point in getting emotionally invested in her.
Ooh,
But
yeah,
I think what's gonna happen is like, you know how like the Flash people push like Caitlyn and Barry to be a thing, and it's like, leave that alone. Like, when there's other introductions to other male characters that she could have a love interest with, I'll like her more, because I'm like, cool, you guys will stop forcing this down my throat.
Yeah.
I know this is a prediction. I'm thinking Evita is gonna bite the dust. Personally, I think she's gonna like somehow die. I don't know if it's gonna be because of him. I just think she's not gonna last. Personally.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's gonna, maybe her death will kind of like make him spiral into darkness. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see her being gone.
I like her as a character development. I like what her and Tyrone are right now, but I'm just not going to get emotionally invested in it because I'm here for Tandy in the long run.
Well, I'm definitely into... Oh, do you want to say something?
I was just going to say that I don't really trust her.
Okay. All right.
There's
I'm
just
not mad
something...
at it.
I feel like she's just kind of... She's just always somehow there. And that's weird.
Yeah, I didn't like her listening in on his prayer.
They're listening to his
Or, like,
prayer,
talking to
or
her
when he's like
brother.
at church, or like covering him up. Like, there's a certain extent where you go to, and I think she's just gone like I feel like it's not to me, her interest isn't anymore like, oh, I want the best for you. Like, it's just weird how she showed up and she's like, oh, do you really think you're cursed? Like, well, come with me. And she takes him and she's like, he didn't even raise his hand to like volunteer. It's really weird. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow we end up finding out later that she has some sort of connection with Roxanne.
Okay, nice.
And
I
we
like
know
it. I'm not mad
Tyrone's
at it.
mom, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, does work
Yeah.
at Roxanne in the
It
marketing
seems like
team.
she has some kind of
She's
connection.
like PR for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well,
I
you know,
actually want to know do we know what Roxanne does? Roxanne? What's the
it's been in
company?
past Marvel shows, but I don't feel like it's been like completely like a huge, like, we haven't delved into it. At least I haven't. I don't have
Okay.
as much knowledge as it personally.
Yeah, I don't either. It wasn't something that's it's not a thing in the Cloak and Dagger, like, comics, so I'm not, like, super sure of where they're going with it. I
okay.
kind of want to see how it's going to tie, if they're going to tie it into the big bads that are in the Cloak and Dagger comics, but I'm not really sure.
Well, you know what character I am getting invested in is definitely Detective Bridget O'Reilly.
Yes!
Who first appeared in the 4-part Cloak and Dagger miniseries, and Drew wants to tell you all about Detective O'Reilly.
Yes, honey. All right. So, this is a quick rundown on Miss Bridget O'Reilly. If you, are liking her character, she's actually pretty dope in the comics as well. So, they did keep her origin where she's from Brooklyn. On the show, she's from Brooklyn. In the comics, she's also from Brooklyn because Cloak and Dagger is actually
In New York.
But she's a detective, just like she is on the show. And for those of you who don't know, this is our character corner. Each week we break down one of the characters from the show, and we kind of give you a little bit of background on them, whether they are really they're already in the Marvel universe in the comics, or if they're kind of like a new comic or character that Freeform has created for us. In this case, Bridget O'Reilly is a Marvel character already. She at first her whole thing is like she's chasing down Cloak and Dagger. She thinks they're kind of vigilantes. She's trying to stop them because they kill a bunch of her the drug dealers that she's pursuing. And then they kind of have like this understanding. It's almost like a why is his name slipping me? Gamby? No, not Gamby.
Gambit?
Gambit.
Gambit and
Gambit. No, not Gambit. DC universe. Batman. Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's kind of like a Batman and
Yeah.
I've known
Gordon
this.
relationship where it's like, I don't necessarily approve of what you're doing, but I'm gonna pretend to look the other way.
'Cause you do
and-
good work.
Because
Yeah.
you're doing good work. So that's kind of the relationship they have. She actually gets brought in to a situation where her and her team get drugged. They basically all die except for her at first. Cloak and Dagger try to come to the rescue and save her by Cloak, taking her into the darkness, and then Dagger tries to save her. They don't save her. She dies, but she becomes Mayhem,
Yes.
who is one of the coolest characters in the Marvel universe. And her whole thing is she can
She has a lot of.
She has a lot of power.
tools.
Dang, I might
She
have
has-
to cosplay Mayhem for Comic-Con.
Yeah, she looks funky. She's green. She has gas power. She can paralyze you.
has
Gas power.
Which kind of double as a truth serum.
Ooh,
which
I
is
need
She
that.
can use that.
Yeah, so that's her.
I'd use that on all the men.
And she can fly a little bit.
Yeah.
She has claws. So I'm really interested in seeing if they're gonna go that mayhem route.
Yeah, I feel like we saw a little bit of Mayhem when she was kind of questioning the creep in the hospital because, like, her kind of, like, she kind of had that, like, that I can detect your BS vibe, and I feel like those are, like, little subtle hints towards.
Yeah, and Mayhem is known as like this merciless. Well, she's pretty merciless vigilante. She becomes a vigilante. It's funny because she was fighting vigilantes. She later on becomes one, and I think we're in this episode. I felt like we're seeing the detective become that vigilante finally.
You guys have just got my prediction.
Save it.
Are you looking at her
Oh
outfit
yeah,
now?
I'm planning the outfit now. Don't worry.
Don't worry, she'll kill it.
But yeah, I'm really excited because this is a character that didn't have a whole lot of like spotlight in this comic, so I'm really excited to see them expanding this role. So we got some fan shoutouts in the live chat.
Oh yes, live chat. You guys are the best. Seriously, we had Ivan Soto.
Oh, yes.
Always Star
Drew.
Nice
name.
Zias Bilu. I'm the Igbo. You guys, Nicholas Kelly, Marilee Ortega, Ghost 8386. You guys absolutely rock. Chris Moe, there's so many more of you. Thomas McQuaid, your real ones, Nas. I hope I didn't butcher that. You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You make this show so fun when we do it. I do want to give you guys some YouTube shout outs from last episode because we love your comments. E-Man, wow, you guys, great energy. You guys are perfect to review this show. Each of you are insightful and you make great points. I will watch you every week. Thank you, E-Man.
So sweet.
That was so nice.
I know. Joe Cobb Yemela. Sorry if I said that wrong. I definitely did. I almost never comment on YouTube, but I have to say I absolutely love this panel and I look forward to watching every week. And I really enjoyed both episodes too. Thank you, Joe.
guys, that was so
Xavier
sweet.
Jones Jr. or Javier Jones Jr. Mike Eilis, Black Superman. You guys rock. Thank you so much, and everyone else who commented. We love you.
Thank you so much. Yes, keep the discussion going. Tweet at us. Comment in the comment section. We love talking with you guys. This doesn't have to be live. You know, we love you guys tuning in live, but we can do this off air as well.
And we see you on Twitter too, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
thank
do.
you.
Keep this discussion going. Theorize with us, okay? Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us that you love us because we love you. And Steph, you also have some news for us this week.
Oh yes, a little
News
bit
and
of
gossip.
news and gossip.
Oh, there it is.
I'm trying.
You were trying your dagger and light.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, exciting news. The debut of Cloak and Dagger last episode broke the record for Freeform for the past 2 years. The
Oh my
one
gosh.
before, was Pretty Little Liars, but it also, the first 3 days after its launch, had the best ever digital debut in Freeform history.
Dang.
7.3
Wow.
million online viewers. You guys, let's keep that going because we want this show
Yes.
renewed.
It was all me.
I watched it.
I watched it that many times.
For our gossip, just a little bit of gossip for you guys. Olivia Holt on shipping Cloak and Dagger did give us a green light for you guys who do want to ship them. She said it's okay to do so. She
Heck
understands.
Why wouldn't you not want to ship them?
Yeah,
Ship-
exactly.
What would their ship name be? They both start with T.
Clagger. Oh, wait. Oh.
I like that.
Clagger. Clagger.
Yeah.
Dope.
Tyrone.
Tanrone.
Tanron.
Give us your ship names if you're down for them to ship. If you're not, that's cool too.
You're wrong. Just kidding.
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that news and gossip for the week. We got to get into predictions. Okay, Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Now,
man.
your AfterBuzz TV
Here we go.
predictions.
Who wants to go first? Anyone?
I do.
Okay, let's do it. Get it, Karla.
My prediction is going to be based off what Drew told us about the character of O'Reilly.
Really?
So I think that it's going to be a little bit different from the comic book, as it probably has to
Yeah.
be. But I think that O'Reilly's totally going to be in with Cloak and Dagger, Tandy, Tyrone. I think she's going to be in with them as the adventurer, and they start finding out what their powers are and everything. And I feel like somehow she's going to get involved with them to the point where Roxanne is going to have to get rid of her. And that's how she's going to be gone from the picture. And then she's going to come back as Mayhem.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah, we think she's dead, but maybe
She's dead, but she's not going to be dead.
You see her
or maybe she dies. Maybe she dies, but they help her come back in a different form.
dies.
I like it. I don't think...
Good one.
Good one. I don't necessarily think we'll see Mayhem this season. I think we'll see like little
Little hints,
like odes
teases.
to
Yeah.
Mayhem. But I think Mayhem's really going to be something that comes into season 2 because we're going to get a season 2. Like,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I feel like with those numbers
Yeah.
that Steph just dropped.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Obviously, the end of this episode was them, needing to talk. I think we're going to start seeing Cloak and Dagger as Tandy and Tyrone. I don't think it's going to... I think we're still going to get our separate storylines, but I think now is where we're going to see them start coming together and the storylines intertwine. We saw in the preview that he... kind of picks up like a cloak and is like messing with it. So I always really like in the beginning of like DC or Marvel TV shows or movies where like they're first messing with the costumes and it's always something like that's not cute. So I'm curious to see what kind of comes of that. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens next week. I don't know.
I'm laughing because ZSB Lou said you're like Key and Peele with the names. I don't know if you guys have seen this Comedy Central bit that this teacher butchers every name. And I just did that and I'm sorry.
Hey, Ron.
You guys, that's a good idea. Why don't you comment the pronunciation of your YouTube names? Because sometimes they're hard.
Y'all know we can't read.
My prediction is that I'll get better at pronouncing your names. I think that they will learn how to use their powers more. We'll see that progressively throughout the season. But I think we saw in the promo next week that they definitely do that. And I think that we'll just see more character exploration with understanding their issues and kind of coping with each other and learning how to be with each other. But they're definitely going to butt heads a few more times.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking like mine's very basic. I think Tyrone is going to go down that dark path. I don't know if it's going to because of Evita, something bad's going to happen to her. I think Tandy, she is like this kind of mischievous character. However, I think the light is going to make her start to do good. And I think I can definitely trust O'Reilly right now, but next episodes, I think we're going to find out more about Roxanne. And I'm really interested in how the heck are they going to do Tandy's costume? I don't... Ooh.
They're changing
sexy.
that.
It's sexy.
They don't want nip slips on Freeform. They're not ready for that.
Because we know Cloak's going to have a cloak, but I don't know. I'm just so excited to see her costume.
Be fashionable.
If she
AF.
does have a costume, because they want to ground it.
She has to have a costume, or at least like some sort of close to costume.
She needs like a blood retainable costume though, or not retain. Like it takes away the blood because I know she's gonna be killing people.
She won't be stabbing.
She's gonna be stabbing people.
Even when she's a Me Too, like she's gonna be dropping some people like unintentionally too. I can just see it already. It already happened, y'all.
Some latex that she can just like wipe off.
Oh yeah, latex.
So guys, thank you so much for joining us. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about our awesome giveaway that we're having. So if you want to win this Cloak and Dagger, the first mini-series, 4-part mini-series after their debut in the Spider-Man issue, you have to leave us a 5-star review, either in the comments section. If you're Android users, leave us in the comments section on YouTube. But if you're an Apple user, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. We will get your names. We are going to get all of them. We are going to compile them into a cloak or a dagger. We're going to draw the name. We're going to draw the name live on our season finale.
We're going to put them in the 3D printer.
Yes.
We will print out that cloak and dagger.
And not only that, we might have some special guests joining us this season on the Cloak and Dagger After Show on AfterBuzz TV, and they're going to sign this. So if you want to win, tune in every single week. Because you might just win this. So this is my least favorite part of the week. Saying goodbye.
I know.
Oh my God. So, all right. I'm trying not to cry, y'all. All right. One last time, say goodbye, and where they can find you on social media.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Karla Beltran. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
And I'm Drew Jones. You can follow me on all the things at OKDrewJ. And just a reminder that San Diego Comic-Con is next month, and we're going to be there. So if you're going to be there, tweet us, let us know. We'd love to meet you guys.
Yeah, let us know what you're cosplaying as, and maybe,
we might have something real special.
Yeah, something stirring up. I'm Steph Sabraw. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw.
Ooh, I gotta start planning those cosplays.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. You can find me on RuPaul's Drag Race After Show on AfterBuzz TV on Sundays. Thank you guys so much for watching us. I really appreciate it. We will see you next week for episode 4.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.